right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Next Phase. Pretty much what you're looking at in front of you is, a picture pretty much dealing with digital currency, a picture, and pretty much this is pretty much the next phase that they're leading everything to. As the prophecies start, pretty much coming up off the pages of the scriptures, there are many different things that are developing right in front of us, and we're seeing them speak loud and clear. And what we're doing is we're witnessing the next phase in the issuance of the mark of the beast. And that next phase is coming by way of, looking for different excuses, looking for different situations on how to get rid of physical currency. And that will make way for the next phase of their mission or their agenda, which is the New World Order, which is to have everyone chipped and everything to be on line, everybody's life, everybody's being, everything about a person being totally accessible online. Their finances, their dental records, their medical records, their driving history, their thoughts, their likes, dislikes, their moods, everything, and this is why they're moving into the next phase of this digital currency, because once they get everything online, it'll make it a lot easier to transition into the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, whether it's in a hand, in the forehead, nanotechnology, whatever means that they use it to connect a person's life from themselves, into the internet, or the Internet of Things, the fourth industrial revolution. So what I did was I looked up this word next phase. It says next phase, meaning the word phase can mean a stage in a person's development or a step in a process. And you could use both of them, because these devils have an agenda, and in this agenda that they have plans on what they want to do and accomplish through different phases. Now they're talking about, 2020 was a key year for them, the year of prophecy. And this is why so many things went down in the year 2020. And now they're preparing for their next step, and the next so-called next major date for them would be 2025, which, Lord's will, by the end of this year, if not Lord's will, the beginning of next year, it'll be done, because the Lord said he's going to cut their time short. That's the next phase. And then I believe they had said 2028. And then pretty much they're looking at 2050 for this whole agenda to be pretty much in place. But we know the Lord said he's going to cut this devil's time short. So we ain't looking to be here that long. Plus, some of us are getting older, and you know what happens when you get older. But anyway, let's go to Job 14, verse 5. It says, "Seeing his days are determined, The number of his months are with thee. That was appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Yep, that brother put it up also. Light Essence 144, as you can see there. All right, now let's go from there real quick to the book of Job 21 and 21. And it says, for what pleasure hath he in his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst, because they have a certain set time to rule, and the Lord is going to cut that time short. So let's go back to the word next phase. The word phase can mean a stage in a person's development or a step in a process, such as the next phase in the Interstate 57 project. Phase can also be a verb, usually followed by in or out, to mean slowly introducing or getting rid of something. And that's the phase. They're phasing out what? The physical currency and moving it into a digital stage. Now, let's go from there here real quick to Job 5 and 12. It says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And this is exactly what they have, an enterprise. And that enterprise is introduced by way of currency, because the scriptures say, let's go real quick to Daniel chapter 10. I'm sorry, not Daniel. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. And verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. See? So you need money to navigate in this system, and this is why the scriptures focus mainly on the beast, using the monetary system to pretty much entrap everything and everybody, because that's how things move. You can't move anything without, you can have all the greatest ideas in the world, but if you don't have the finance, you're not going to be able to get it off the ground. Ecclesiastes 7 and 12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So money is a defense. And this is why they're moving it. This is why Maya Angelou said, you know, one of his famous quotes is, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes the laws. Because pretty much, you know, he that controls the money controls the laws. And this is why, you know, the politicians, lawmakers, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, anyone that has to do with any form of government, you know, they're pretty much going to bend to the will of those that are controlling the money system. Otherwise, they'll be eliminated, or if not assassinated, they'll be moved out, voted out, or whatever the case may be. You know, because they have control of the money system. When they planted the third central bank in America, the Federal Reserve, back in 1913, that cemented their central bank in America that would not move, because it looks, and it was made to look as if it was a governmental agency by putting federal on it, but it's nothing more than a privately owned corporation, you know, and this is what they used to manipulate the money. Then during World War II, they made their way in through the Bretton Woods Agreement, and they made the dollar, or the US dollar, the world reserve currency. And now they're trying to get rid of it, you know, to put everything online. So the Lord said, let's go back here. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that they can't perform the enterprise. And the word enterprise is Thawashayah. Thawashayah is wisdom, sound knowledge, success. Sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success. Because you have to remember, an enterprise starts with a thought, you know, and that thought, you know, leads to, you know, of course, needing to have capital to invest to help get the plan off the ground. We have the word enterprise here, a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. because you have to, a business or companies, you have to remember that this project that they've undertook, it's called the New World Order, you know, and they've tried this from the beginning. All nations have tried to have the world under their control and under their rule, you know, and every nation that came up failed, because that honor is only going to be given to the Son of the Most High, Yahushua. And that's who's going to set up the true New World Order. So this enterprise of theirs is not going to work. So it says a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. Because remember, it's a worldwide event. It's not just an event for one part of the earth, a city, a town, a village, you know, a country, continent. It's a whole world. They're looking to get the whole world under control. Let me just get a couple of precepts that came to mind, and then we can go back to that. There was one more that came to mind. Let me get that also. All right, so let's go back here to Revelation 3:10. Matter of fact, before I read Revelation 3:10, let's get these. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Why? Because there is an agenda being pushed upon the face of the earth. This enterprise that I have forgot, this came to mind. This enterprise that they're pushing, they put, which is funny, they put it on the back of their dollar bill. And this dollar bill, eventually, because I believe that was 1932, 1933, when they put this symbol or emblem with writing on the back of a dollar bill, right? And it wasn't until the 40s till they made this the world reserve currency, right? And now this world reserve currency that eventually went through all nations had Latin writing in it, which is another clue that this is ancient Rome. It's also spiritually known as Egypt. This is why they have the Egyptian pyramid. So you have what? Annuit Coeptes, which is announcing the birth, or our enterprise has been crowned with success. See, and when they pushed that world reserve currency in 44, and this dollar started going to all nations, this was circulated throughout the whole world, because they have a world agenda. And that's what we read about enterprise. It says a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. And this is why they pump a lot of money into it. So now, what was their enterprise? Well, underneath it, you have what? Novus Ordo Seclorum, New Order of the Age, or New World Order. All right. And then underneath the pyramid, you have 1776 in Latin writing, which does not mean July 4th, 1776, so-called Day of Independence. It goes back to May 1st, 1776, the beginning of the so-called Illuminati. All right. So Novus Ordo Seclorum, this is their agenda, which is a worldwide agenda. So it says wisdom, sound knowledge. So it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So it's a worldwide agenda. So that's why it says woe to the world. Revelation 12. And I just want to get straight to the point. Just bear with me 1 second. Right at 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, which this is the word gay or gi, where you get the word geo, which is the whole entire planet, and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So as the time keeps approaching and keeps wasting away, so to speak, they're going to get more draconian and more forceful with it. Now you see in there, there's now at one time, things were voluntary. Now they're starting to be mandatory. We see them having, creating new forces, to police around the different cities to pretty much start arresting or fining people that don't comply with the rules. Now it's starting with the majority of it is starting with the people that use mass transit, mandating that they make sure that they have their mask on at all times. Now they're talking about double masking, so eventually things are going to get even more or they're going to get worse, because they're going to start cutting people off that don't want to comply. And this is the whole thing. The whole thing is to make people to submit to their will, but eventually they're going to get physical. And I'm not talking about Olivia Newton physical. I'm talking about physical. Inside joke. It's Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And the hour of temptation, at the final stage of it, is the microchip, the mark of the beast. But it also is a representation of this whole, everything that's going to happen prior to it, during the time of Jacob's trouble. But the ultimate hour of temptation, that is that mark of the beast, the microchip. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the world. Which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. And when you look up this word world here, the word for world there is the word oikumene, which means the whole inhabited earth, all the inhabitants of the earth, because it's a worldwide agenda, as we read on the back of the dollar bill, and they can't deny it because it's there. So what do you mean by this? The New World Order. But then they say, well, no, there's no, so that's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, but why do you have it on the back of a dollar bill? This is a banner that they're flying in the world, because they made this a world reserve currency. So this dollar bill is in any nation around the world that wants to do business with America. So why did you do that? See, you did that, Esau. Inside joke. So now let's go back to the word enterprise in Job 5:12. Wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success, sound or efficient wisdom, adding success of the effect of sound wisdom. And this is what, through their counsels, that they are pushing this whole agenda. Isaiah 47. I got some couple of videos I want to let y'all hear real quick, but Spirit got me just focus on these verses here, to bring it out. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 47 verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorcery. So whatever you see on television with, Hollywood or, entertainment world, basketball, whatever the case is, music industry, it's all set up to push their agenda through enchantments, through incantations, through sorcery, wizardry, and this is what they're pushing, their enchantments upon the world, because they're trying to put the world under a spell, which the majority of the world is under their spell. But there are some that are woke up. We have one that can see. And that's what they're pushing. So the Most High, Yahweh, is telling them, look, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, because you're about to head for a bad one. So why don't you stand up now, call your wizards, call your warlocks, call your witches, your sorcerers, everybody that you have, your wise men, and have them say some chants for you and do some spells to keep you in power. so that you don't falter or fall. It says, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Yeah, because ever since they've been, especially in these times, ever since the beginning of Esau during the Renaissance, they've been pushing their enchantments and their sorceries, that deception on the world. And then when you deal with the inception or the creation or the beginnings of America, that's all they were doing. Because in the beginning of America, you had, certain so-called presidents and leaders of Esau that they call the so-called founding fathers. They were all witches and warlocks and Freemasons and all that, and whatever rite they were in and however they did it. It says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Yeah, because, how did the Lord tell Israel that they would profit? Let's go real quick to the book of, what is that? Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have what? Good success. And they can't say that they didn't know, because they have the book. They had this devil Biden, swearing in on the Bible, which is the current president of the so-called United States. So why comes, if he swore in on the Bible, how come he doesn't uphold it? So they can't say, oh, well, we didn't know. Well, right there. That's a big-ass Bible that he's swearing in on. And the so-called, and they say, God bless America, right? What God are you talking about, Ak? Inside joke. So this is how you make your way prosperous. But they have it, and this is why the Lord said, unto the wicked, the Lord said, what hast thou to do that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instructions and castest my word behind thee? Because the very first law, one of the very first laws he passed, goes totally against the scriptures, dealing with the whole, alphabet people thing. So let's go back to Isaiah 47. If so be thou mayest prevail. Yeah, with all of these sorceries. And that's why it says that after the destruction, they're not going to repent of their sorceries. See, once this whole situation, this whole shithole goes down, they're not going to repent of their sorceries. They're going to, what they're thinking? They're in their bomb shelters. Okay, well, that went up in smoke. So you know what? As soon as the smoke clears, we're going to go back up and we're going to start setting things up. And they're going to have plans, because they have something called continuity of government. They have contingency plans, and shalom to the Akim on the comment board, the Akwath also, brothers from all over the world. Shalom. So their whole thing is what? To have this contingency plan to continue. Let's see, let's type in contingency plan. Contingency plan. All right, so let's deal with this one first. It says contingency plan, a plan designed to take a possible future event or circumstance into account. So what is that? The destruction that's coming, they're taking a contingency plan as to what they'll do once this happens. Then you have something called continuity of government. Its continuity of government, COG, is the principle of establishing defined procedures that allow a government to continue its essential operations in case of a catastrophic event such as nuclear war. The need for continuity of government plans gain new urgency with nuclear proliferation. So their whole thing is about what? Moving everything forward. Once, these events happen. Because they know they're happening. This is why they're putting these things into the books. They know it's going to happen. That's why they're putting it in the books. Revelation 9:21. Neither repented. Matter of fact, they started 20. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands. See? That they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. So who was that? That's dealing with these international banking families. You know, even among the other nations. First with Esau, then the other nations. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So they're not going to repent. They have to be beaten into submission. So let's see what do we have here. So going back, it says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. See? So the multitude of their counsels is what? They're still having these meetings about setting up their agenda, pushing their agenda forward. Because it's a worldwide event, so it's not an easy undertaking. You gotta think of it. You're looking at almost 8 billion people, you know, in the world today. Almost 8 billion people in the world today. So they're saying it's 7,844,758. 7,844,758,000, almost 759,000. I'll try to see if they have another. Yep, pretty much the same thing. Let me just pull that up real quick so y'all can see. Boom. 7,844,758,759,000. See? Today births this year, deaths today, deaths this year. Boom, boom, boom. All right? So that's the world. So you got to think about all of these people all over the world. They're trying to push their agenda and trying to get all these people to comply with their agenda. You know? The devil done bit off more than he can chew, man. So it says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Yeah, because you're not going to be able to save. You're not going to be able to be hid from the wrath of the Lamb, baby. Because when he comes back, man, he going to do some serious damage. I think that's Revelation 6. Yep. Revelation 6:14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. That's the mushroom clouds, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth. See, these are the top banking families, so-called top, they like creme de la creme in this world, right? Not just Esau, the other nations too. And the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, see, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. For what purpose? Till the destruction is over for the so-called continuity of government. You know? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Olivia Newton-John, you got it. You got it, bro. So it says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, which is the Most High Yahweh, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So that's showing you, people talking about Jesus is love, God is all love. So what is this all about? What's this? What's this all about? You know? Why are these people going to be saying, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the what? The wrath of the Lamb. The Lamb gets mad? I thought he was all love. I thought he was coming to hand out flowers and Tootsie Roll and Juju fruits and all that stuff. What happened? Oh, you talking about Jesus. You talking about the other white meat. Okay, I see what you're talking about. It says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So let's get this, finish up this here real quick, and then I want to get some of these videos and then see where the Spirit leads it. So he said he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong, because the same energy and effort that they're putting into making these decisions and using this technology to push forward their agenda is the same thing that's going to cause them to be destroyed anyway. All right, it says they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. Yeah, because they meet with darkness in the daytime, because the agenda is pushed in the face of everybody out there, but most people are blind to it. It says and grope in the noonday as in the night, because although they can see, they're not bumping into each other, but they're groping spiritually because they don't see that the day is approaching where they're going to be judged and lose everything. All right. So let me get these two. Hopefully they don't strike me. This is Joe Rogan interviewing Elon Musk, but this is not really the point that I want. But this is good because it introduces a little bit. But the next part of it is what I want to show you, and this was sent to me by a brother, and I just want to show you what he says.
It's a cyborg. It's a combination. It's a combination of electronics and biology.
Yeah. See, he says a cyborg is a combination of electronics and bionics and biology, because they want to merge man with machine.
Things are getting more and more connected.
See, things are getting more and more connected. Now check out this guy here, this Moabite, and listen to what he's saying if people plan on visiting China.
Kai-Fu Lee is the former president of Google China and Microsoft Research China, as well as the author of New York Times bestseller, AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley, and the New World Order. Kai-Fu believes that China will be the AI superpower within 5 years.
See, he believes that China will be the AI superpower within the next 5 years.
For those of you who haven't been to China for the 3 years, please be careful when you go, because your credit card and cash may not be accepted.
See, when you go, be careful, because your credit card and cash may not be accepted. Why? Because they're phasing those things out to fit, because the credit card already did what it was supposed to do. Most people today do not walk around with cash. They walk around with credit cards, debit cards. You know, it's very rare that they'll have cash on them. You see? But why did they do that? They did that for a reason, to get people used to not having cash and just used to whipping out the credit card, which to them seems a lot easier. You see?
China has pretty much been taken over by mobile payment.
See? China has been pretty much taken over by mobile payment. Because that's setting it for what? For digital, because that's touchless.
Age of AI, if data is the new oil, then China is the new Saudi Arabia.
See, in the age of AI, if data is the new oil, then China is the new Saudi Arabia. So pretty much they're showing you what they're pushing towards. They're pushing towards a total cashless society where everything will be digital, because they want every individual person on the planet to be merged with the internet. Now this is another one. This is dealing with this is Abu. So hopefully they won't strike my channel for playing these, but you know, we'll see.
This is Dabu7, taking a look here at the money supply as it's ever changing, and we are fastly moving toward a digital age where this government has already shown their hand. The central bank digital currency, also known as the CBDC, is going to be what is rolled out here in the offing. They are already taking back the coinage all across the country. Most of you should know this. Are you asking why? Are you asking where is this going? You should be. Because when it's all said and done and they get this whole thing converted to their CBDC, it will be tracked on blockchain. All the information will be stored there. And then there goes your privacy out the window. I've warned about this over and over and over and over again. But in connection with that, to make some digital currency work, it would have to be backed by a precious metal like gold or silver, platinum, palladium. In this instance, we are seeing different states sign up these bills or bring up these bills where they're changing things in terms of money in the states. This is happening in individual states, left and right. Okay, some are eliminating the income taxes on gold and silver. This is pretty big. And as it's been stated many times before, if they use gold to back the money, it would need to be somewhere in this day and age around $20,000 or more per ounce to be able to justify the backing of it equally. And they break that down, and many people have done this. And it varies a little bit. Where it will go, it's anyone's guess. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely heading in this direction, where they are going to back everything with gold and silver. And it's at this point, I feel, everything will explode. When they take away all the fiat currency, say one new variant pops up out there, we face a real pandemic situation out here where bodies are dropping. People are not going to want to touch fiat currency or anything like that. It will be the icing on the cake to take it all away. And when they do, they don't even have to do that. They can just simply come out and tell the whole world, you've got a year to turn in your dollar bills. The whole world. What about all the Pablo Escobars out there, modern day, and other people that have it buried all over the globe, under their castles and their vaults, private stacks of money? They don't want no one to know what they've got. They're going to put you on a timer. They're going to give you about a year or so, my guess, on this countdown, to turn it in and get a credit for a central bank digital currency. So they will then know where everything is at. And when that deadline goes, all that currency is done. Outlawed, not worth anything, gone forever. If you did not exchange in for your central bank digital currency, your CBDC, you will lose. You will lose it all. Anyone that wants to hide their millions, billions, anywhere, if they do not face the fire in this situation during this conversion, they're going to lose it all. This is what is about to happen. And when they get this all digital, everyone's going to look around and they're not going to have anything to hold. They're not going to have anything physical to hold. They're going to wish they'd held on to some of their coinage throughout all this, at least those that were smart and did, well, because that's all that is really going to be left out there as silver and gold get more scarce. And as the prices start to ramp up and others refuse to sell it, you will see the scarcity really kick in. And all by design, all of this is about to shift. So, we can see, and I'm going to leave a link here where you can read into this, state after state after state. Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, Tennessee, the list goes on and on and on here, of the states making moves here in terms of favoring gold and silver, eliminating the taxes associated with it. Even if you were to have gains in terms of buying and selling it and holding it for certain amounts of time. So I'm going to break this down further on the live stream.
So there you go. So as we've heard earlier, Elon Musk saying that everything is moving pretty much pretty much connected to the internet. Then you heard the dude Lee speak about how if you go to China, you better not bring your credit card or cash because you may not be accepted because everything's moving to mobile payment, mobile app payment. And even the brother here the brother from Australia said, a lot of people here in Australia use mobile phones to pay now, and the vaccine certificate will be on the phones. See? So everything is moving digitally. Why? Because this is something that was prophesied. Now let's go from there to the book of Daniel 12:4. It says, But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And now you see the world has the infrastructure to push for this mark of the beast, which is the microchip, because they want everything to be closely knit together. That's why they're building smart cities and smartphones and smart cars. They're saying a lot of people in the future are not going to be able to drive because they're thinking that they're gonna continue forever. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Psalms chapter 49. They think they have all the time in the world. Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Because another thing they're doing with these chips, I was watching that movie, The Mark, I believe it's called, and I wanted to do a little something on that, but I didn't get a chance to. But the trailer on it, I believe it's a trailer, but it's the very beginning of it, pretty much saying how when that they put that mark in you, pretty much it controls, it has birth control in it, and the only way you can have children is if pretty much if the state allows it, pretty much what these devils are trying to do is they're trying to replace the Most High and be the Most High and dictate to the people how they can be or not be, and this is why, because they believe that they're gonna rule forever. But remember, all nations thought the same thing until they were hit with that reality check. All right, so it's all leading to this right here, Revelation 13:16. Everything you see going on, financially, with the Internet of Things and all that happening, the fourth industrial revolution, is all set in place because knowledge shall increase, and it's all leading to the road of the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, the RFID microchip. Yep, that's right. The brother from Italy said they're in for a rude awakening. That's right. All right, so let's read this real quick. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Why? Because as we explained, this is going to be a worldwide event. This is why it's taking so long. This is why we read the definition of enterprise, a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. Because to take over the whole world, that's a lot of planning, a lot of money, a lot of think tanks, a lot of infrastructure that you have to set up. So it says, and that no man might buy or sell. See, this is the key here. Everything is being set up for buying and selling. Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, which is all three of these. It's a trifecta, It's 3 in 1. There's another word for it. Offhand, I forgot the term, but it's pretty much, it's hendiatris, I believe it is, hendiatris, which is 3 in 1. So it's all speaking about the same thing. The mark, the name of the beast, and the number of his name, 666. All of that ties in together. So we're looking at buying or selling, right? The word for buy is agorazo, is where you get the word agora, which means to be in the marketplace, to attend it, to do business there. Buy or sell of idle people, to haunt the marketplace, lounge there. So in order for you to operate normally like you did at one point, you have to comply to this new world. And remember that compliance is you selling your soul, because we read yesterday in the lesson in Luke the 4th chapter that Satan told Yahushua that he'll give him everything, the whole world and everything in it, if he'll bow down to him, because it was given to him. So they have the infrastructure of the world. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and whoever they will, they'll set up in power. But you have to do things for that. All right. So this is buying. So you ain't going to be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark of the beast. This is why the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, has to step in and intervene for us. Because if not, this devil would kill everybody. And the word for sell is poleho. It says to barter, to sell, sellers. So if everything is digital, you're not going to be able to exchange your services, because you won't be able to get paid. Because everything will be digital. So every transaction will be monitored. There will be a digital footprint on it. And this is what they want, because right now, dealing with cash, you can't track cash. You could only track things that are digital. And then, like Aaron Russo told Alex Jones, when he spoke to Nick Rockefeller, he said, look, if people act up, you know, if you misbehave, if you try to buck up, what they do is they'll shut your chip off. Bottom line. All right, so let's go back. So you're seeing how the infrastructure of the mark of the beast has everything to do with the infrastructure right now, what's happening. And by them making everything digital, it's going to make it harder for people to operate unless they are part of that system. And this is why they want to put implants in people's heads, put chips in people's bodies, where there's a RFID chip, which they have, and they have put in people, and that is the mark of the beast. Even if they make it nanotechnology, it doesn't matter how they do it. It all leads back to the mark of the beast of buying and selling. And then no man might buy or sell, so if he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 603, which is 666, which is pretty much what governs the buying and selling of this whole world, pretty much. You have the UPC, the Universal Product Code, which has a 666 in it. You know, I'll show you that real quick. Show you that real quick, and then we can close out. All right, so let me grab this up real quick. I mean, it's not that big, but hopefully you can see it. Let me see if this one's a little bigger. Nope. If I could find one that's a little bigger. Okay, this one's a little bigger. That one had buy and sell, which is good. But see, if you notice, see, I wanted to get one that had different numbers on it. Let's see how big is this one. This one ain't that big either. But usually when you see this, you're not going to see 66 like that, you know. But when you see these, they have different numbers, you know. Of each line represents a different number. But then when you see the sixes are represented by two lines. So you have at the beginning, middle, and the end a 6, 6, 6. You know, and that's why I wanted to get a different one. But not a lot of them are not really that big to where I can show you. All right, let's deal with this one here. As you can see, these numbers, see that you have the 1, 1, 2, you know, and each line, the thickness, depending on the thickness of the line, it represents a different number, and this is what helps carry or track each different item. And then you have, and some of these, see right here, you have a 6 in blue, but you see what, a double line. So you see in the beginning, the beginning here, double line, in the middle, double line, and in the middle, double line. That's 666. So that is the mark, or the number. That is the number of the beast, which is a worldwide event, which is something that's pushed worldwide through this UPC code, and eventually through the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, in whatever form they put it in people. And that's right. Yep. That's exactly true. Joseph Laurer, the creator of the barcode 666. Yep, he's the one that actually created that back in the 70s. I believe it was 76, something like that. And that is the template that they use to pretty much mark the people of the world, you know, through this tracking, digital tracking, and that's where they're pushing everything to go online. As you heard Elon Musk and that dude Lee say, you know, you heard Dabu 7 speak about it, you know, and things that are being pushed in this digital currency, and that's what it is. It's all heading that way because the very final, one of the very final prophecies before the Lord comes is the mark of the beast. Once they push that, then all bets are off. So with that, you know, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.